Welcome everyone to today's special Zoom meeting. We decided to do a meeting in tribute to Louise Hay, the mother of metaphysics. And she just passed into spirit this past week. So I'm really honored and happy that Linda agreed for us to do this. So welcome everyone. Today's call, okay. So this is a tribute to Louise Hay, the teacher and leader of Affirmations. I am perfect, whole, and complete. And so many people have been touched by Louise Hay, millions of people, and many, many people have felt her leave in this eclipse energy. And honestly, I felt like the stars lit up when I heard that she had passed. I was like, wow, so many souls and so many people are just rejoicing in her life and her spirit. And I didn't feel any sadness. I've thought about her passing before and thinking maybe I would feel sad, but she has so much light that she shared that I didn't feel the sadness at all. I felt like lights were turned on, and now she'll actually touch even more people. And if anything, I could get to work in front of the mirror and do my mirror work or do my affirmations more than I do. So that's what I was feeling. Okay, Linda, so we'll go to the next slide. So I was hoping that if people have something to contribute about how she touched your life, that we can do that we might have time at the end of the presentation to do that. And, so, how she impacted my life, let's see, I'm 52. I just turned 52 a couple weeks ago. And when I was 23, I was at this major crossroads, and I think I talked about it. I'm going to take these off. I talked about it in one meeting I did before here, I think about Saturn. So this might sound familiar to some of you. So I actually was hitting bottom, right? I had been using drugs from the time I was 11 till I was 20. And then I stopped doing drugs and I was drinking a lot more, drinking between 20 and 24. And it was basically change or die. I mean, I wouldn't have lived much longer on the planet at the rate I was going. And I didn't even do half of what most people do, but with my level of sensitivity, and if we saw my chart, you would see why there's so much Mercury. And it's just, I wouldn't have stayed on the planet. And I think I was sober about 3 months, and I was hanging out with this woman named Cherry. And I stayed the night at her house. And in the morning, on Sunday morning, she was playing this meditation tape. And it was so soothing. And I said, wow, what is that? And she said, oh, here, this is Louise Hay. And I said, can I borrow the tape? And she said, yes. So I also had a massive amount of anxiety, like really bad anxiety. And regular music was very triggering for me. I couldn't listen to it on the radio. So I put the Louise Hay tape in the car, and I was driving home and listening to this tape. And I don't remember the name of the tape. I've been trying to find it, actually. They don't sell the cassette tapes anymore, but so I'm listening, and it's all about like loving yourself and forgiveness and all this stuff, but very practical too. And she says, and you chose your parents. And, I'm a Pluto 4th house person with Uranus, Venus opposing Saturn, Chiron squaring the nodes. Okay. I was like, are you freaking kidding? I didn't choose my parents. But she was the first doorway opening into me taking some level of soul responsibility for what was going on in my life. And even though I did have like past life memories and stuff when I was younger, after doing all those drugs and all the trauma and all the stuff that I had gone through, that stuff was buried really deep, and I was really caught up in a massive amount of resentment. And so even though I resisted what she said, this other part of me thought, well, you know what though? I'm so calm listening to this woman it was so apparent, the transition or the change that happened within me when I listened to her. I felt so much calmer. There has to be some truth in what she's saying. And then the same woman that gave me the tape took me to a Unity church, which is a New Thought church, and I started going there, and they were very steeped in 12-step consciousness and recovery, and Louise Hay, and all this beautiful work, metaphysical work, and everything just started unfolding for me. And so I listened to Louise Hay regularly, and just she was a huge, huge part of me changing my life. I mean, that was the light bulb that went off, that the doorway changed. The doorway opened for me. Okay, Linda, let me see. Can we go to her chart? Okay, so I made some notes, and I'm not going to talk about it just from purely EA, except, so I'm just going to kind of move around a little bit. But the first thing when I look at her chart, look at all that Libra in the third house. So I guess if we know more about her life, if we'd gone through the slides first, and we will, she has this huge publishing company. She's done all this beautiful, amazing work in the world, helping so many people. And so third house, Libra, Gemini, third house. So she's a communicator of love. I wrote communicator of love, beauty, others, and helping balance the extremes in our minds, logical love, and let's see what else. I know there's skip steps there, and maybe Linda can talk about that a little bit. She's got Pluto in the North Node in the 12th house. So the 12th house is the house of publishing. It's with Pluto there. It's all about deep transformation. In Cancer, she's like the mother of so many things, the mother of transformation, the mother of metaphysics, just so beautiful. And her life, of course, was not that simple. She had a lot of early trauma and went through a whole lot. And after the talk with Jason the other day, you can see that Ceres there is squaring her Pluto. And she did go through sexual abuse and a lot of early trauma that she carried forth. And then she turned around and healed herself and used all of her life story and all of her pain and all of these things that she went through to heal herself and help others heal, because she told the story, and then she was able to bring forward all this love. She got cervical cancer, which is also, I would say, that Pluto Ceres square, Saturn opposing Mars in that T square with Neptune and Jupiter. That speaks to her early life, and the South Node in Capricorn. And Chiron at the top of her chart in Taurus. Chiron and Taurus, right at the top of the 10th, that her MC. I mean, how beautiful. That signature right there is so Louise Hay, right? Empowered medicine, loving yourself, completely self-reliant in, and she was like such, what's the word? She was like the queen of healing, and in that 10th house, and her whole career was based around healing and turning all of her wounds into medicine and then sharing them with the collective. And it just keeps repeating the whole theme in her chart. And Jupiter in the 7th house, retrograde. She's, what did I put here? I wrote it down. Teacher of the unusual, bringing love to large groups, to humanity, helping them change. In retrograde, she's doing it her own authentic way, in a big, big way. She touched so many people. And opposing Neptune, stepping into love, learning to love herself, putting herself first, and kind of weeding through the illusion of the pain or loss of love, and choosing the higher road. And she did that over and over and over, and empowered herself and so many others. Let's see. And then that Chiron is opposing Mercury and the moon. And what did I write? She was the mother of many, mother of love, mother of transformation, mother of metaphysics. There's so much that could be said there. Let's see, Saturn, Scorpio. Yeah, I think that's all I'm going to say about our chart. And Linda, if there's more you want to say after, there's some beautiful themes there.
Wendy, would you like us to look at the chart now? This one?
Sure, if everybody wants to, or we can do it after. We can go through the slides and do it after.
All right, then let's do it after. So we'll just go to
Yeah.
the next slide.
Okay. We're going to listen to some of her affirmations so everybody can hear her voice. I don't think it's working.
Can you hear it? I can hear it.
No. We can't hear it. I can't hear it.
Anybody else hear it?
No, can't hear it at all.
Oh, what a shame. Look, I'll try and insert it later, Wendy. I'll try and edit the video and insert it later. How's that?
Yeah, that's fine. I was just looking for that thing I recorded. It's
Okay.
on my phone. Let's see if I can find it here. Oh, yeah, it won't let me do it while I'm on a call. No worries.
Okay,
So
let's continue.
Yeah. Okay, this is from Tracy Reed, the CEO and president of Hay House. Our beloved friend and founder Louise Hay transitioned this morning, August 30th, 2017, of natural causes at age 90. She passed peacefully in her sleep. Louise was an incredible visionary and advocate. Everyone who had the privilege to meet her, either in person or through her words, felt her passion for serving others. Louise entrusted us with the company that she built in order to enrich the lives of others interested in self-healing and empowerment. Her legacy will live on, and her spirit will inspire all that we do. Hay House will continue to publish products and online learning courses that align with Louise's core teachings. We honor her through our memories and will carry out her vision for many years to come. I know that we are divinely guided by her loving hand. And here's the timeline of her life, which is so beautiful, Linda. She was born in 1926 on October 8th in Los Angeles, California. And then in 1946, she became a model for Bill Blass and other designers in New York City. In 1955, she married Andrew Hay, and they were married for 14 years. In 1972, Louise started her studies at the Science of Mind Church in New York City. And then 5 years later, in 1977, she wrote Heal Your Body, which is later referred to as the Little Blue Book. In 1978, that's when she wrote the Little Blue Book. And then in 1990, she becomes a Science of Mind minister and overcomes cervical cancer with alternative methods. In 1980, I think I said 1990. 1984, she publishes You Can Heal Your Life, which is what she's known for throughout the world. In 1985, Louise begins what will become her famous support group, the Hayride, to help HIV and AIDS patients and their families. She was one of the first people to come out around that and start speaking to these people about first chakra issues and fear and holding all these old patterns in the first 3 chakras that were keeping people from healing. The Hay Foundation is established as a nonprofit to honor the work of Louise. In 1988, she opened her publishing company, Hay House, and the New Yorker featured her as in one of their famous cartoons. In 1990, she moved to San Diego and appeared on the Oprah Winfrey Show. And in 2001, she received an honorary doctorate of divinity degree from Religious Science International. In 2002, she holds a big bash for her birthday and exclaims, "I'm 75 and very alive." And in 2003, she makes a rare appearance at the I Can Do conference. And they have offices in England and they opened offices in England and South Africa. In 2004, she publishes her book, I Can Do It, How to Use Affirmations to Change Your Life. And in 2005, she broadcast her first Radio for Your Soul episode on Hay House Radio. In 2006, this is a photo of her celebrating her 80th birthday. And in 2008, she's dubbed the Queen of the New Age in an article by the New York Times. And Heal Your Life, You Can Heal Your Life, reaches 35 million copies sold. And Maria Shriver presents her with the Minerva Award for women who are extraordinary leaders, role models, and visionaries. Incredible, incredibly beautiful. And in 2009, she releases her first film on her work, You Can Heal Your Life. I didn't know she even had a film. And released her mobile apps for Power Thought Cards and the I Can Do It calendar. And Hay House launches its self-publishing imprint, Balboa Press, and releases a special edition of your Heal Your Life box set, which I guess is more than just her book. In 2010, she publishes Experience Your Good Now, which comes with a CD and affirmations. And she releases a color and numbers book and Modern Day Miracles. I guess Louise and her friends did that. In 2011, she completes her signature Blessing Buddha painting, which is very lovely. It's quite good. And then in 2011, Love Your Body, Positive Affirmation Treatments for Loving and Appreciating Your Body is released, which I'm going to buy. I didn't know all this was out there. And Louise with Cheryl Richardson published You Can Create an Exceptional Life. And You Can Heal Your Life reaches 40 million copies sold and 5 million copies in just 3 years. 2012 was the 25th anniversary of Hay House. And Hay House produced its first series of movies, Tales of Everyday Magic. Louise is featured in Painting the Future. And Cheryl Richardson and Louise create a 4 CD set, You Can Trust Your Life. That sounds pretty interesting too, actually. And then 2013, healyourlife.com website hits 1 million Facebook fans. And her meditation affirmation app is released and goes on to reach 100,000 in just 9 months. The inaugural Hay House World Summit shares Louise's and like-minded industry leaders' lessons to over 2 million people around the world. Louise Hay and Mona Lisa Schultz, which MD, PhD, write All Is Well, Heal Your Body with Medicine, Affirmations, and Intuition. Louise has 1 million Facebook fans, and Hay House compiles her work into the Essential Louise Hay collection. Wow. 2014, Louise and David Kessler published You Can Heal Your Heart, Finding Peace After a Breakup, Divorce, or Death. Louise teams up with Athea and Heather Dane to write Loving Yourself to Great Health, Thoughts and Food, The Ultimate Diet. And her first gallery opening of her artwork on video happens then in 2014, and the newly revised Hay House website is launched. 2015, Louise and Robert Holden published Life Loves You, 7 Spiritual Practices to Heal Your Life. Louise and Heather Dane published The Bone Broth Secret, A Culinary Adventure in Health, Beauty, and Longevity. And 2016, or I guess in 2015, Louise Hay releases her first coloring book for adults, which I'm intrigued by also, filled with inspiring positive affirmations from Louise and beautifully illustrated designs by illustrator Alberta Hitchinson. 2016, she publishes Mirror Work, 21 Days to Heal Your Life. Louise Hay and Robert Holden, PhD, collaborate to release the Life Loves You deck card. And Louise Hay and Mona Schultz release Heal Your Mind, the prescription for wholeness through medicine, affirmations, and intuition. And then 2017, at the age of 70, Louise transitions on August 30th, 2017 in San Diego, California. Hay House will carry on her legacy and continue to publish products and online learning courses that align with her message of self-improvement and self-love at hayhouse.com. The Hay Foundation, established by Louise, continues to support organizations that enhance the quality of life for people, animals, and our environment.
Just
We're
let
going
me
to try to play this video. I don't think it's going to work, though. What, Linda?
Let's just try it. Okay.
Yeah. I'm surprised it doesn't work.
Okay, so we'll just continue on, Wendy, and fix it up later.
Okay. So these are affirmations, and Linda put these beautiful pictures up. My heart is strong and loving. Look at those eyes. So beautiful. I breathe in the fullness of life. You become more beautiful every day. I look and feel fantastic. I now choose to release all hurt and resentment. Love that green. I love myself just the way I am. Your future is always bright. Life loves you. I am perfect exactly as I am. I love myself. I choose happiness. I forgive myself. I am good enough. I am my own unique self. All is well in my world. I am pure spirit. I am worth loving. Everything I touch is a success. Thank you, Linda.
Okay, Wendy, thanks for that. Here we have Louise's chart in the inner wheel and her death chart on the outer wheel. This is not the exact time of her death. She died in the early hours of 30 August 2017, but I just set the time to her actual birth time. So, but of course the transits are accurate, except for the moon. We don't really know what the moon would be. So everybody, please feel free to join in. Anything that you can see in this chart that you'd like to share. To the videos.
I just wanted to add that what I've noticed from all of the affirmations, and it seems like the general context of her work definitely point to that skip step, that Venus skip step of self-worth, loving yourself.
Yes, absolutely, Wanda. Yes, so let's look at that Venus skip step. So if everyone can mute themselves so we don't get the feedback, and just unmute yourself to speak. Thanks. Okay, so we have Libra in the 3rd house, and of course that's the house of communication. And Libra does correlate to the natural law of sharing, caring, and inclusion. So she has Venus skip steps. So in this lifetime, before evolution could continue, she needed to resolve these skip steps. And wouldn't you all agree that, yes, she did resolve them, right? So the resolution node is the North Node Cancer in the 12th house. She is a spiritual mother, as Wendy pointed out, and the ruler of her North Node is Moon in Scorpio in the 4th house. She was a transformer of the egocentric structure, her own, and was able to help others transform their own inner self-image. So in this death chart, what's interesting is that the solar eclipse at 28 degrees Leo was conjunct her Neptune 9 days before she passed over. And we can really see that that is a correlation to the solar eclipse. The solar eclipse signifies outer events in the world, and certainly very famous people, events around famous people. She had her Vesta return on her passing, which I find very interesting. So Vesta was at 20 and her natal Vesta was at 19. So in a sense, she had completed her work. And when Vesta went to one degree past that 19 degrees, you know, perhaps her soul just said, right, I've done my work, now it's time to go. And of course, Vesta is service, and for her in Virgo, service to humanity. Up here at the top of the chart, what is interesting is that Chiron conjuncts her Uranus, and transiting Uranus conjuncts her Chiron. So the transiting Chiron's in Pisces, and her natal Uranus is in Pisces. The transiting Uranus is in Aries, and her natal Chiron is in Taurus on the midheaven. So in a sense, you can see that her work in the world needed to end there as well. Natal Juno in Pisces in the 7th house, that shows her commitment to spiritual work. And as Wendy pointed out, her Jupiter in Aquarius in the 7th house, you know, a very unusual way of counseling. Well, it was unusual, it was very new, and certainly she was very successful in helping other people. So we go down here to the Pluto opposition, and it's not exact, but you know, you can use white orbs with Pluto, and of course the soul had achieved the work that it came here to do, and yeah. So yeah, Venus skip steps recovered, the natural law of caring, sharing, and inclusion. So would anyone else like to comment on this chart?
I wanted to say that I find it interesting with the solar eclipse, right, passing by her Neptune, and then it passes over Vesta. I mean, this is after the eclipse, but the moon as it's moving, right? Because we could feel the eclipse. I mean, some of us have still been feeling it now, right? So and then it passes all that Libra, passes her own moon and Mercury, Saturn, and then it releases in Sag in the 5th house of Leo, right? Just really beautiful. Trining, moving into a trine with Leo and Aries at the top of her chart. I mean, what a beautiful way to go, and in her sleep. And then it also passed by both Uranus and Chiron, both those Chiron Uranus placements. I mean, she must have been having some amazing experiences, I would think. And those are pretty strong transits. At the same time,
Absolutely, Wendy. Yes. Anyone else? Anyone else like to comment? What do you see in either her natal chart or in the death chart?
I like that Jupiter in the natal Jupiter in the 7th in Aquarius, kind of that liberating from the old or the status quo narrative of, I remember one of the uh, affirmations that you showed earlier about being good enough, that you are good enough, and of course we know back, especially back in her day, uh, and even almost up into this present day, that's one of the things that you're always told, that you're not good enough. You're not good enough. You got to keep striving, keep doing this, keep doing that, because you're not good enough. And that was her main, um, thing of saying that you are good enough. So and that would definitely, I think, point to that Jupiter in Aquarius as well.
and look, she was having a Jupiter trine, right? Jupiter
Trying to
was just past a full trine to her natal Jupiter. So when it was retrograding, it was there for a long time.
Yeah, yeah. I see
Mm,
that now. I see that now.
And what's interesting too, with Uranus going through Aries all that time, it was in her 9th house, right? So her 9th and 3rd houses were really lit up while all these things, kept happening with her published all that expansion.
mm.
It also repeats the Jupiter transit repeats the natal Jupiter because Jupiter is in Libra and her
Mm,
natal Jupiter
right.
is in the 7th,
Yeah.
repeating that Venus, that Venus
Archetype.
archetype there.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, this chart, in her natal chart, she doesn't have a Pluto polarity point because Pluto is conjunct
Right.
the North Node. So her soul was meant to focus on that area. And that is the area for the resolution of the skip steps, of the Venus skip steps.
Yeah. Do any of you guys have experiences with her impacting your life and would want to share that?
I don't know a whole lot about her. I've only heard, various, maybe a few of her affirmations here and there. So that's pretty much the purpose of me being here, to learn more about her.
Yes, Wendy, I think, a lot of the young people may have not even know about her. Like I know that Way had not known about her. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know her either.
Yeah, I think if 1990, that's almost 30 years ago when I was first introduced. 28 years ago, I was introduced to her. And that's when I started having these awarenesses. No, 27 years ago was when it happened. And she was already doing pretty significant work at that time. And that's when, at least for me, the Adult Children of Alcoholics movement was coming forward and all these affirmations and meditations. outside of like pure yogic, kind of meditation, where people were taking their own health and recovery into their, into more of a chironic experience, right? And out of religion and into spirituality, and really teaching themselves and others how to heal, really heal. And I know this one therapist that I was seeing had some conflict with Louise Hay. She was like, she's just telling you to like say all this positive stuff when maybe you need to really process this stuff. But the one thing about my experience with Louise Hay is that she lived it. She went through all this difficult stuff, and she also healed herself from cervical cancer and all of these things using positive affirmation. She was not a Pollyanna. She was a tough love chick. I mean, you couldn't get anything past her. She would always put it back to you to take responsibility, but she did it in a very mindful, loving way. So if you listen to any of her recordings, you'll hear that in her talks. Very powerful.
Yeah, Wendy, I just really loved her voice, very soothing. And I've been listening to her affirmations for years, many years, but very much in the last few months. And I actually intuited that, she could be getting close to the end. And so around the solar eclipse, I was listening to her affirmations and posted in the Facebook group, a few of her links, video links. And
I remember that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so yeah, she really had a huge impact on my life. And I love her affirmations because many of us suffer from low self-esteem, and including myself. And I find her affirmations just, bring so much lightness, and, they just make you feel good. And
Yeah.
yeah.
And I agree. Her voice is very, very soothing. And also she made it normal to face these inner aspects of yourselves where most people are trying to hide all that stuff or be in denial about it. I don't have that. I'm fine. And, and she's saying, no, this stuff is here. Let's bring it out into the light. Let's bring that shadow out into the light and love it. Love it to death.
Exactly.
And that's what she did. I mean, that's a Venus square Pluto person.
Absolutely. In the third house. Oh, wow.
Yeah, in Libra, right? Libra Cancer. I mean, in the third and the 12th houses. I mean, how beautiful. Mercury, Neptune, the moon, Pluto, Venus, Libra, Taurus. I mean, all those themes. Really, really lovely.
This one here, Wendy, this is my favorite affirmation. I love the way she says this. She just says, I look and feel fantastic. And the way she says it, it's just, I love it. I just love it.
Yeah, there's not a lot of ego in it. It's like you can feel the love. You can feel the love coming from her when she's speaking all of these things. And so, actually I have her morning and evening meditation. If you listen to that every morning, I mean, it just changes the outlook of your day. It changes everything. It infuses your life and your outlook with something different.
She's very natural, like that Jupiter in
Yes.
Aquarius in the 7th house. She really
Yeah.
understands the individuality of others, and she talks to that. And you feel embraced, and you feel loved, and yeah, beautiful. And so we have Michaela has joined us, and I know that Michaela wanted to share something with us. You there, Michaela? It looks like she's stepped away temporarily, but yeah, Wendy, you can continue.
I may share some.
Oh, there he is. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a fantastic person, and I didn't. I met her affirmation, and then it was a totally different world when I started spirituality in 80s in Sweden. The connection wasn't like now. but her impact is massive, and it's so fantastic to see that she lived her energies, symbolized by the chart as you talked about, the Pluto North Node in Cancer in 12th house. Just amazing with the Libra and Venus, etc. So she's such a pioneer, and I'm thankful that you have this memorial for her. She really deserves every bit of attention, and it's so great that she left during the solar eclipse, because only that will give her even more attention, if you understand. And it's so light, feels so light. Thank you very much.
Oh, yes.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that's so true. Pointing that out is that when I found out, like I said, I felt like there were all these stars. There were just like so much golden light pouring in, and I think that it will just illuminate her work and further her vision for all these. I mean, and she touched so many authors. She brought so many people forward and created a platform, all these teachers and all these other people to carry the gift, to carry our evolution forward, right? I mean, just touching thousands and thousands of people, millions.
Definitely, Wendy. And according to Jeffrey Wolf Green, Evolutionary Astrology, Louise Hay is in the 3rd stage spiritual. And you can really see that, can't you? I totally accept that. You know, perhaps not at the level of Jesus Christ or Buddha, but she's in that, maybe in the early stages of the 3rd stage spiritual.
I agree, yeah.
And how beautiful, how beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Wendy, my mother had me at the age of 16, and she really couldn't really connect with me. And so in many ways, Louise Hay has been my spiritual mother in this lifetime, and has filled that void in me. And yeah, I'm so grateful. What a beautiful soul.
Yeah, I believe that, Linda. I felt that earlier too when you were talking, and I'm going to find that video. I don't remember which one it is, but I mean, for her and talking about resentment, because that was such a big thing for me, and I was so angry at my parents. And this one video, she takes you through like seeing your mother as a 5-year-old, and you know, all these things, and I was like, oh yeah. But you know, on some level it worked, and of course it still took me 20 years, you know, personally, but at least it opened my mind. All of this stuff it kind of furthered what some of my early drug experiences did. It opened me, opened. So it just took me to like this place that I already knew existed, but I hadn't touched into it. And having someone so authentic and be so real allowed me, it just gave me permission to go there, to love myself more, or to find it, you know.
So Wendy, with Louise Hay's Pluto in Cancer, in the 12th house, she was connected to the divine. She has been there for a very long time. Her soul has been in that area of life for a very, very long time. So she understood this. She had the power, you know, to communicate this to others.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's clearly set up that way. Mm-hmm. And she just had to move through her own darkness. I mean, she had been raped when she was 5. That the story is in You Can Heal Your Life. And you know, a lot of it just like a lot of difficulty continued. I think all the way up through into the modeling, when she was modeling in New York, and something significant happened there. I don't remember what it is. It's in the book. She talks about it.
I also really like her Neptune in the 1st house in Leo.
Mm-hmm.
At present, the North Node of Neptune is in Leo, at about 10 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
So she
I
was,
was wondering.
yeah, she's really tuned into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, she's a rising Leo in that chart. And then she would have been a rising Cancer. Or no, it would have gone her Libra. She would be rising Libra, right?
Where?
Like
Where?
now, like either Neptune, Libra, or Scorpio, right? The chart moves, right? She would have gone from rising Leo to rising Virgo
Do you
to
mean
rising
the solar
Libra.
arc? The solar arc, do you mean?
The progress chart.
Uh-huh. So
Yeah.
it would be around here, Capricorn, if she's 90 years old.
Wow.
But
Hmm.
hang on, you're right, Wendy, it would be down here. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it goes that fast, right? Because I'm 50 and mine 52. It moves kind of slow. I think she's probably rising Scorpio, but it all of that Libra would be in her 12th house
Yeah, I should
in a progress chart. Hmm.
have. Yeah.
She
I
had
love
so
it.
many people that loved her.
That Chiron on the midheaven is just awesome.
Yeah.
Taurus is a sign of light, of pure light. And of course, self-esteem and self-love and all of that. And how beautiful.
Hmm.
And that's ruled by Venus, which is in the skip step. So you can really see how her work was, it was imperative that she do this work to resolve her
Yeah.
skip step.
It's an inconjunct, right? It's almost exact.
Yep. It's
Chiron, Venus.
oh,
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Hmm. And same with her Uranus, Mercury.
Right. Right. Yes.
Hmm.
It's interesting. Mm.
Hmm. Well, thank you so much, Linda, for agreeing to do this. Feels really good to do it.
Absolute pleasure. And thank you so much, Wendy, for being our host today. So beautiful. And thanks everybody for attending. So Wendy, any final thoughts, comments?
Mm. I am grateful. I am love. I am light. Thank you, Louise, for mirroring for all of us, for the whole world, the truth and authentic love.
Thank you, Wendy, and thanks everybody.
Thanks, Linda.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Wendy. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.